Hi guys, this is Meenu. Welcome back to my channel, Storytale. Today I'm going to be talking about The Maid by Nita Prose. I have never actually read any of her work before. This is my first time trying her books. I picked up this book because I've seen many people actually buy this book. It has a lot of reviews and it has been popular for a long time now. And I have been seeing this book all over Amazon. So I wanted to give this a try and see why people are actually buying it. And now that I've read it, I just do not understand why it is so hyped. I'm going to keep this review spoiler free and very short. Let me give you a little bit of the synopsis first. The story is about Molly, who is a maid in this Regency hotel. She is a kind of a clean freak. She likes to clean a lot. She is very loyal to her work. She has almost no social skills. She does not know how to interact with people. She is very innocent most of the time. She does not fully understand what people is talking about or what is their context. She really likes being a maid and it has been a dream of her for a very long time. She, like I said, does not have any social skills. That is why she lives alone. Before she used to live with her grandmother, but she died like few years ago. So after that she is all alone. After her grandmother died, there is nobody else around for her anymore. She's all alone in her apartment. She's also struggling a little bit with the financial condition of herself because her and her grandmother's life saving was kind of stolen by this guy who pretended to be in love with Molly. He took each and every penny of them and kind of left them broke. But even with all this trouble and issues, Molly was content with her life. She was content with her job. But of course everything changes when she finds Mr. Black, who was one of the regular customer of the Hotel Regency, dead on his bed, and Molly was the one who found him. Without wasting any more time, let's go to the like and dislike section. The first thing that I like about the book is Molly herself. I really enjoyed her character. Even though there was this issue of autism in this book, we feel how naive and innocent she is and how everyone is kind of taking advantage of her. But like I said, most of the fantasy kind of thing was taken from autism, but autism or any other underlining issue was not addressed in this book. There was no label for it, which has got the quirky bit. But anyway, even with all these flaws, I really enjoyed her character. There were so many scenes which was really funny and I really loved her interaction with other people. I also liked her inner monologue where she would describe what she would do to a bad person or a cheater, to be specific. So I really enjoyed that too. So those are the things that made her very much likable. But again, like I said, the autism part really does suck, because if she's autistic or have any other underlying issue, then I think it should have been handled much more sensitively, because many people might feel offended with that. So I think if that would have been handled better, Molly character would have been much more likable. The other thing that I like is the writing style. I think it flows very well. Nita Prose really writes very well. I was really engaged. Especially there are certain funny scenes in this book which is like hilarious. I was really laughing out loud. I really love those scenes. Especially there's this court scene which is one of my favorite. It is a delight to read. The interaction between the judge and Molly was just pure precious. The whole court scene was just hilarious. I really enjoyed it. There are also other scenes, especially there was this scene with this guy that Molly used to like. I cannot seem to recall the name of him. But there was this dating situation and the things that she was thinking when he's not actually expressing those things, I think that was also very funny. Again, there were certain scenes in the police station that was very funny. So there are many scenes that was written very well in this book and I really enjoyed those scenes. The third thing I liked is the relationship between Molly and her grandmother. I really enjoyed all of the scenes of grandmother. I think she was very sweet, even though sometimes she becomes a very much cliched, because most of the time she's just giving life lessons and everything. But still there were so many scenes of her and Molly that I find very endearing, especially knowing the fact that Molly is all alone and she does not have anybody else other than her grandmother. That kind of also made it very special. Especially there was this scene which was very beautiful and it was written to perfection. That is a scene between Molly and her grandmother when her grandmother is on her deathbed. I really loved that scene. I really felt it. It was a very sad scene. It is gonna make you a little bit cry or at least feel sad for Molly, because everything that happens and everything she has to do is really heartbreaking. So that is one particular scene I really enjoyed. Overall, I really enjoyed their relationship. Now let's talk about some of the dislike. The biggest issue with this book is that it has no plot. This is a character-driven story. So whatever we get is Molly and her characteristic, what she does and what happens to her and everything. We do not get much of a story, so that kind of becomes a little bit problematic, because in this book we are getting many of the subplots, but we're not actually getting a real story. There's a talk of drug and there's an immigrant situation. There's a physical abuse situation. There has been many issues that has been addressed, but none of them actually shines. It has not been explored very much. All we get are most of the scenes of Molly and she thinking how she would like to clean a certain place, and her story which does not have a much of a story. So by the end of the book, when you read the ending, I'm not gonna tell you the ending, but when you read the ending, you realize that most of the things that Molly talks about throughout the book does not make any sense, because we are getting from her mindset, we are seeing through her eyes. So why are we in the blind again? I do not understand. And there are so many things that she does that does not actually make sense, that why she is doing those things, why she is going through this investigation and everything. The other thing that did not make sense to me is why Molly was being accused of the murder, because she is just a maid. She does not actually have any motive, she does not have any cause, she was not related to Mr. Black. There's nothing actually similar ground between both of these cases, so I do not know why she was even suspected. Maybe she was just an easy target or something, but still that does not make sense to me. When I read the synopsis of the book, I was really intrigued, because this was about a maid who listens to many things, who knows many things. So I thought this book would be heavy on the thriller part, but that is not the case. The thriller does not actually amount to even half of the story. It is just about Molly, her past, what happens to her, how people interact with her, what she does, and what happens after the murder. That is all. There's not much of a thriller. I do not understand what kind of book this is, but this does not come off as a thriller to me. The second issue that I have with the book is the predictability. I understood from the first bit that who is the murderer. It was not that big of a stretch. I understood each and every motive of the characters that was shown in the book. But like I said, this is not a thriller book. So maybe that was not the focus. Maybe it was supposed to be predictable. But again, then what is the point of this book? It has been shown as a murder mystery, right? Then what is the mystery here? The ending was not big of a twist to me. I was not really surprised. I kind of figured that this is what happened and this is the person who murdered him, but I was really disappointed because I did not like the ending. I thought it would have been a little bit better, not that much predictable, but again it was. So I think overall the thriller or the mystery part of this book was really disappointing. The third and the biggest issue of this book are the portrayal of the characters. Molly, who does have an underlying issue of autism, was not actually labeled as autism, and I can understand if you do not want to label autism, fine, that is okay. But then again, the way the author has treated autism, I think that was very poorly done. She took all the cute and likable and quirky aspects of the autism, but she did not delve into the bigger problem of it. She did not show us the bigger issues that people actually face with the disease. Also, the character of Juan, who is an immigrant, he was kind of shown as a dumb person, which also again does not make a sense, because even though he's an immigrant, that does not mean that he is dumb-witted or something. So I think again his character was shown poorly too. And there's also the grandmother, who was more of a cliche. All she does most of the time is give life lessons to Molly. All of these characters are cliche and are not actually written very nicely. So like I said earlier, the portrayal of the characters are shown very poorly in this book. Overall for me, this was an average read. It was not a great book. You can listen it to as an audiobook and you can just have it in the background, because nothing much actually happens in the book, so you will not miss out much, especially some of the few scenes. That is the only thing that you'll miss, but other than that, it does not have much going on in this book. It is, like I said, mostly character driven, and we just see Molly and her cleaning stuff and everything. So for me, this was an average read. That is why I'm going to give it 3 stars. Do let me know in the comments down below what you think of this book and whether you like it or not. Do subscribe to the channel if you like this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.